Welcome to the Journeyman Cave, a podcast where we meet and chat with some of boxing's most seasoned road warriors, hosted by Mark Shakespeare and Chris Scarfe.
Welcome back to the Journeyman Cave, everybody. This is round 30, and with me, as always, my very good friend, Mr. Mark Shakespeare. How are we?
Always good, mate, always good.
We're in his 30s.
I know, can't believe it, can you, mate? Dirty, Gertie, blind 30, yeah?
What have we got for round 30?
Oh, we've got Mr. Graham Fearn, mate. Looking forward to this one. He's like a Willy Wonka, isn't he, really, mate? I mean, we picked him up wrong week, didn't we?
I didn't realise until he got here, and you said he worked at a chocolate factory, and we were like looking at each other, and then he said, I've not been working this week, otherwise I'd have fetched some for you. The 1 week that we get him in.
So if anyone needs a part two, Graham, you're more than welcome anytime. But just make sure you come when you're working, mate, that week.
Absolutely. And he didn't travel alone. He came with Micky Sullivan, his friend, and I'd not heard of Mick before, so I don't know if you knew Mick.
No, I don't really know, but from according to Graham, there's a few people wanted to interview him. And, you know, when Graham said he was coming down, I said, well, there's no point in just sitting there, mate. I might as well mic him up.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? I think he enjoyed it, didn't he?
I think so. I mean, he knows his stuff.
He's very knowledgeable, yeah.
Definitely. So, as first four-person episode.
Who's editing this one, then?
You'd probably be able to tell it's me. But yeah, so with no further ado, let's get Graham and Mick in.
Let's do it.
I have done an interview a long time ago with Sitanta for the Frankie Gavin fight, and they came to my work and they filmed it. We had to have special, authority for them to come into my work and film me, and they went to a lot of great lengths to do this interview for me fighting Frankie Gavin, and then Sitanta went bust. It never got shown. It just fucking went bust.
You got a video of it, didn't you?
Yeah, Frankie Gavin, my arch enemy.
Is it? Does he owe you some merchandise?
Still owe me 55 quid him.
All right.
You liked him, didn't you?
I liked him. I still do like him. I think he should have done a lot better.
No,
to be honest.
Yeah.
But no, I've mentioned it before. I sent in. He says, "Oh, give me 55 quid, Mark, and I'll send you a couple of signed gloves." And he went quiet.
He give you his dressing gown.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he gave me his dressing gown after I'd boxed him. He
was skillful though, wasn't he?
Very. Most skillfulest box I've ever boxed.
He says, well, he'll tell you, I'm sure, he's strongest.
He was strongest. He must have been, I mean, I was only a lightweight, mate, stroke light welterweight. The night I boxed him, he must have been 11 stone. He'd really blown up, you know.
Well, plan was, because he's a back foot boxer, only down the road, said just push him back or man him. But I was ringside and Graham come straight up, barged into him, but you bounced off him, didn't you?
I couldn't move him, I couldn't shunt him. I could not physically shunt him because he was a big lad and he'd blown up.
And Darren said he's at least 11 stone there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like a rock then, what he mate? Move.
He was, mate, yeah.
Well, the hardest one you fought, you would say, mate?
Definitely, and most skillfulest. Every time I tried to throw a punch to him, it was just moving an inch either side, that way or that way. His reflexes, punches were just going past him, ducking down. It reminded me of a little bit like, do you remember Pernell Whitaker?
Ah, yeah.
He had a peekaboo style where you could sort of like just... It takes a long time in the gym to get a slip off.
Yeah.
When you're learning it, you exaggerate. You're moving down 3 or 4 foot than what you shouldn't be. He had it off to a T where he only moves his head half inch, look, like that, look, and then it's...
Do you think you're a bit of a waste of talent, mate?
Massively. But he'll admit that now.
You think he will admit that now?
He does, yeah.
Yeah, because I thought he were absolute... I mean, obviously, when he went with Kell Brook, he got a bit of a beating, didn't he? And I thought to myself, I didn't like to see that because I thought...
He reckons he didn't have a clue about diet, yeah. He was always a carry case. He just wouldn't do it, would he? He didn't have that discipline out. And all the lads from Birmingham, you get talking to at big shows and that, I'll say, look, he's off his head every weekend. They were saying that for years before he'd... Talent will only get you away with to a certain level. When you meet him with the same talent who work twice as hard.
Yeah.
then you're fucked, aren't you, really?
Yeah, correct, mate. It's true, mate.
It's like that Olympic squad, they reckon, around that time, there was, in Billy Joe, Fury was on it for a while, said that it was uncontrollable. Have you heard his interview with Tris Dixon, Frankie Gavin's?
No.
All he talks about is his amateur days and fun and how much of a laugh they had. And he said in 2006 or 7 or something, he was away with Fury and George Groves and Billy Joe. For a day, one of them had to do a shit in Tyson Fury's boot while it was on toilet. He couldn't stop laughing while he was telling tale. Tristan was saying who did it, and he said, I can't tell you to this day. He said, because Tyson...
Frankie, all is forgiven.
He had them up against wall, all of them. He said someone had shit in his boot. And he said that's mild from what we did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bradley Saunders was on it as well.
Bradley Saunders.
He's a boy.
Yeah.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah.
He's abroad now, isn't he?
Was it North East? Was it from
No,
North?
he's back now.
Is
He's from Durham, area.
Durham area.
He was deep with MTK, Jim. He was good in, but his hands was done in.
Yeah. I liked him as well, Saunders at the time.
I really rated him. But when he broke both his hands in fight, he just nutted guy, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's a bit of a character now, like, he's well spoken out, isn't he? Speaks like the Saunders,
You
doesn't
can
he?
see what he is.
Yeah.
He's a rough guy, Bradley Saunders.
Let's try it. He's not coming on our show, he's too good. That's in a good way, that, Graham, don't worry, mate.
Well, Tony Bolt's got more wins than anyone else, hasn't he?
That's what we said up thingy. Like Scarfe said, never seen a record like it, had you?
No.
You know what I mean? 66 wins or something like that. Or something like that.
100 odd losses, 50 odd wins. Wasn't it? So, balmy.
Just before I got in here, Graham, right, I had Harry Matthews messaging me.
Yeah.
Right? And he had 2 questions for you. And the first one was, what would you have done different in boxing if you could go back now?
That's a good question, is that? I would have looked at my nutrition better. I was working shifts. I was starving myself half at time, obviously, getting up, going training, you're zapped. You're zapped. So I'd look at more nutrition. Today's fighters, they've got better understanding of nutrition, shall we say. So yeah, I'd look at nutrition and that, and probably more. I would fit anyway, but I'd probably look at more different ways of circuit training. You know, there's a whole range of it now. I mean, I was boxing in 2007, I think, 2008. So a bit of time's passed by now.
But I thought that was a good question they asked.
It was very.
All the lad, the experienced guys, Jamie Waters, all them said you was a natural featherweight. Which they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
But they went to extreme measures, didn't they? Like Jamie would to make 12 stone.
I mean, could you imagine trying to be on a diet and you're working in a chocolate factory and there's a river, of chocolate flowing down Aeros, Kit Kats, whatever you want. Can you imagine? You get to 2 or 3 in the morning. You've already trained during that day, and you're on. You know what I mean? It's very hard. So
I bet
he'd box coming off nights. Other guys had a 6-week camp, and he was at work till 7 that morning.
God, in the chocolate factory, mate.
And with his daughter most of the time.
God, I tell you what, though, mate.
Good question, that though, for mine. Very good question.
Yeah, and his second question was, have you any ambitions to become a trainer?
Yes, I do. At the moment, I think we spoke about this, Mark. I can't commit myself to being a full-time trainer, so it'd be an injustice towards the boxer that I'm training and also to myself. But without a doubt, if things change in the future, I don't know, my finances get better, I can go on what you call a job share where you only work half the hours. It all depends on, but I'd love to. But I am still involved because I'm going to end up for Harry Matthews' 100th fight at Barnsley.
Is it Magna, isn't it?
Is it at Magna, is it?
Yeah, I think it's at Magna.
I've been asked to corner him twice in next couple of months. So, right.
There is a gym in York that said to him, they'll take him when he's available. And they are shows.
Well, he told me,
and it's a good gym.
He told me he's got it all sorted for October, and it's going to be at the Magna. So we're going.
Right. 21st, isn't it?
21st, yeah. So I mean, some career he's had, mate.
It is.
And he said, "I've got 2 more to get through.
Yeah.
2 more to get through." I said, "Don't matter.
Yeah.
Relax." I said, "If you don't get through them, the 100 will come."
If I can get to hand up, my first time ever handing up for a guy on his 100th fight, what an amazing achievement. What an experience for me.
Yeah.
What an experience for me.
He's selling tickets for that, isn't he?
He says he's selling tickets. He's going in the
He
home
could sell
corner.
tickets in his day, him.
Well, he was, wasn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
we saw him, obviously, win Central Area against Ben Davis when he was actually a bit of a prospect at the time.
Yeah.
That was the same night as Danny Holmes when he got knocked out, wasn't it?
But it should be a nice honour for you, that, mate. You should
I
be
think
proud
so.
of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I will be.
We'll look forward to seeing you on that night, mate. Are you in a beer on that night?
Definitely, we will do. We'll have a beer that night.
Who's paying?
Be me. It's always me.
It never chuffing is.
I'll bring Kit Kats as well in Yorkies, shall I?
Good lad, Graham.
From Chocolate
Absolutely.
Factory. I should have brought a load today. I've just had a week off work, otherwise I'd have brought you an outer.
Well, you might as well get out and come back with a treat. You know what I mean? I like a Kit Kat, my son, Graham. But going to your record, mate, like I said, 34 fights.
Yeah.
Good that, mate.
No.
And you boxed on quite into your older ages, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, I reckon I could have doubled that if I'm honest with you, but I ran into some politics, shall we say, within the area council.
Yes.
So I reckon I would have. It's 50. I reckon I could have done 50 fights.
Will that your target?
That
you
was
know?
my target,
Yeah.
50 fights. Yeah, but I would have liked to have gone out on a what you call a swan song in York. There was some up and coming boxers, and there still is now. We could have easily got a thingy together, you know, a bill together. And we could have easily all been the home fighters.
That'd have been great.
With a win. You know, it, for the service that I'd put into boxing, you know, that it would have been nice to do that.
Yeah.
But I was denied.
Oh, dear. We're not going to go into politics, are we?
No, not at all. But
We'll get in trouble.
But you look at my record, I was only ever stopped 3 or 4 times out of 30-odd fights. And 3 of them or 2 of them were body shots. I only ever got knocked out once. I can honestly say I was only ever knocked out once by my head, you know, with an head shot.
Yeah. Who did that to you? I'm not going to...
It was a kid at York Hall. Sewell?
Yes, I think it is, mate, yeah. Most certainly is. It's down my list. It's down my list.
Yeah.
But like I said, 6 wins, 25 losses and 3 draws.
Yeah.
Not a bad one, mate, for away corner, that, you know.
No.
At all. And we always say this, Scarfe's best thing is he loves a nickname.
Oh, yeah, I do. I like a nickname. Did you have a nickname?
I did, yeah, the York Road Warrior. Yes, I was the original York Road Warrior. I think I might have been the first journeyman from York to go, you know.
Right.
And then obviously that it's been taken on now. But I was made to feel a little bit ashamed as a journeyman back then. I don't know why. Just the
But
stigma.
you get that off general public anyway.
Yeah.
If you start watching,
It will never change
I don't
me.
even listen to people if I'm watching boxing because they'll say, look at him, he's lost 100, he's shit, and you think, just don't even listen to him.
But talking to people today in York, and you know, we all totally respect Harry Matthews going for his 100th fight. You know, it's all changed. It's all changed now. Even talking to the up and coming boxers in York now, that they appreciate how hard it was being on the road.
It's tough. And like I said, Mick's been there, hasn't he?
I'm from him.
Yeah, he's been there, and you've
On
been
both sides, because like I say with Henry's brother, like my closest friend. So we've seen that side.
Yeah.
And then Graham's side.
Correct.
And the sort of mixed amongst as well.
It's bloody tough on that road, mate. And that's why we do this.
But I have seen a lot of lads now, including unbeaten pros, who are jealous of journeyman. Like Mickey, he's 8-0, isn't he? I'll say, look, fucking ticket selling. I wish I could just go fight every week and not. It's more drained with ticket selling than he is with boxing.
Yeah, when I started this up, before I released Peter Dunne's the first episode, I had quite a few people saying to me, what you're interviewing them idiots for? They get paid all fucking money. They just turn up and get paid. They don't deserve a voice. I had a few people saying that. And I just made me more determined, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Well, if you look on his card, his amateur card, Peter Dunne was Yorkshire schoolboys in 80s, and they both was top boys in region. There's a choice in it to go on road, really.
I think Peter Dunne won Yorkshire's or something 13 times on trot or something. I remember him saying 13, so I was thinking, fuck it, I was married 13 years, but so 13 stuck in my head. But yeah, Peter Dunne was, as a schoolboy, was mustard, absolutely mustard.
Carl Sampson's same now, was on the road. Quality fighter.
He wins occasionally, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's determined to. He says he's determined to win a Central Area / English, but he wants to do it all away corner, so he's got his job cut out. His work cut
Someone
out,
to
should I say.
fancy it, really. I think William Warburton on his night could.
That's one I'd love to have on, Willie.
Yeah.
He could box him.
Yeah, I know. He could really, yeah. That was all my era, them type of people. Your Carl Taylors, your Peter Buckleys, all that, like, you know, your Christian Late, your Nesbitts, Jason, they all had something special.
Sullivan, what's he called? Everywhere. He's good. And he's just retired, Solovsky. He's beat a few of them.
There's a few good ones around, and if, like you say, if they want to turn it on, there's certain ones who can turn it on the day. And if
But they don't get used, do they? They've brought in loads more Eastern Europeans now.
yeah, there is. But going on to Journeyman, Graham.
Yeah.
And Mick will know a few of you as well. You started off with 4 wins, didn't you, mate?
I did, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
Lights in Vegas, like we talked about. You know, it's all easy. This light.
We did, yeah. I thought 4 wins. I thought, it's quite easy. Is this? I will be fighting in Vegas soon, but
You fought 3 legends, really.
Yeah.
In them 4.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, Christian Lake. We'll start with him first.
Yeah, that was a strange circumstances, was that, because I'd just gone through all my medicals for my boxing, and I'd gone through my interviews, and I was waiting on the board just to say, here's your licence, you can go. So it wasn't in mind or anything like that, you know, and I got a phone call off Mick Marsden, who I'd first term pro with. He said, I've got you a fight in 2 days. So I only had 2 days notice. He said, so I said, all right. And I didn't know too much about it. I didn't know what the score was. He said, you're fighting a kid called Christian Late. So off I went and Googled him, and he'd had 50 fights. And I'm thinking to him, saying, what's going on here? 50 fights, I'm boxing away. I don't have to sell any tickets. Am I getting set up? So I don't know whether I went down there just to get Christian Late a win, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But maybe Christian Late was due a win before he got pulled in. But anyway, so I boxed him, and I won on points, like, yeah.
Yeah, Mick said, didn't he? I'll square that with board. Mick had a lot of pull with board.
Christian Late was absolutely fantastic at not being hit clean.
Yeah.
He could. That's why he had 300 fights and matched Peter Buckley's, because he could roll. He could just dance and stay out your way, slip him. All right, it might not look that good at the best of times, but his skill was not being hit flush.
Yeah.
I don't know many people that have actually hit him flush.
Yeah. Where'd you said that?
Yeah.
Who would you say, for you both, I'll ask you first, Mick, who do you think what best, Buckley or Late? We had different answers, there's no right or wrong answer, and
They were both brilliant.
They were both brilliant, and there's no right or wrong
probably been
answer.
in with bigger names, hasn't he?
That's what I say. They just edged it for me with a calibre.
He's gone. Did he take Nas distance?
Yes.
And he stopped it when he stopped him at dodgy as well.
Yes,
Wasn't it?
he hates that. Have you read his book?
No, Graham's got it. I've listened to some. He's done a few podcasts. I think he's done. He said Duke McKenzie was best his face. I think.
Yes, he said that to me on the phone.
That's right, yeah, John McKenzie.
But yeah, now going on. So we've got a vote for Buckley. Come on, Graham.
I'm going to go for Buckley because I think he's mixed in the better class in his younger days. Only in his younger days.
Yeah.
But obviously they're both legends to me, and I used to look up to both of them in the changing room. I used to ask them both for experience and all sorts. I said to Christian Late just before I boxed Maxi Hughes, what's this kid like? 'Cause I knew Christian Late had been with him. I said, what's he like? He said, don't worry, Gray. He says, you've got nothing to worry about. Just, he can't punch. And that's what he said to me, Christian Late, about Maxi Hughes. And
We'll get on to Maxi later.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to say on Journeyman, then Buckley can't really be beat, because if you're taking Nassim Hamid at a day's notice, then you'll get rid of anyone, won't you? Could have probably offered him Mike Tyson. He'd have said right.
I could pick them as my top two every time, but I find it really hard to pick a third.
Depends what you're looking for. Longevity,
Exactly.
it's them two. If you're going to get someone who might turn them over, like Booby beating Omar Thingy, that's an hell of a result.
Yes.
And he got a draw, didn't he, again, on the road? He's had some results that is proper upset people. And decent fighters like Negus and Denzel and all them are good, like, was floating around domestic level. In fact, he could maybe not call himself a journeyman.
That's why I don't want to put him in there, but
He's not really a journeyman, is he? Apart from everywhere, at anywhere he went for cash, you won't call him a journeyman.
I do think Warburton's up there.
Oh, he's class.
I definitely do think Warburton is up there.
Yeah.
But then going down to lesser fighters, I thought Daniel Thorpe were class.
Oh, boxed him. Wow.
Him and Thorpe was a great fight.
I boxed Daniel Thorpe. He could punch. Wow, he had a right dig on him.
Everyone said he couldn't punch.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
he could.
telling
you, he could rocket it. Yeah, I used to follow his record quite religiously, and he'd stop the odd prospect now and then. I'm thinking, well, you don't do all that, you know. You don't go to Scotland and stop a prospect just like that. You know, he could dig.
He's in Curtis Woodhouse's story a lot, isn't he, Daniel Thorpe?
Yes.
So he got put in with him on his first spar.
Yeah.
And they said, we're off to the board with him. He said, I thought he was challenging for a title or something.
How many fights did Daniel Thorpe there? He must have...
I think about, off the top of my head, when we did interview him, I think it was something like 127. I'm not... Don't hold me on that. It might be a little bit less, a little bit more.
The two times he went out of his way to sell tickets, you got Thorpe and Mark McRae, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like, really dodgy. McRae was very dangerous.
Mark McRae is the most powerfulest puncher I've faced. One single shot.
Wow.
If he could hit you with one single shot,
he did hit you with it.
Yeah, he did hit me with rock me to me, but he had a hell of a punch on him. Maybe a finalist, ABA champion, I got told as well.
There's some class people out there, isn't there, in that away corner and stuff. And so then you went on to beat Brian Murphy.
Yeah, that was a strange story. So again, I get this phone call. Do you want to, only 2 or 3 days notice, do you want to box in Scotland? So, and I'm working, I'm at work the next day. So I'm travelling down to Scotland. I'm travelling down to Scotland and I box and then I start work at 6 in the morning. I got there a little bit late, like, so I was knackered. But anyway, yeah. But again, I think I've gone down to Scotland to get this kid a win. I think he's gone to beat me up. And Brian Murphy is won out, I think it's over 6-2s. He's won every round, tapping me, jabbing me and everything, and I catch him in the last round and knock him out, poor lad. Yeah. So it was a nice win that I'd gone away.
I thought that was Darren Rhodes talked you into that as well, because I said, you're not going to get a result in Scotland. And he said that, and Rhodes said, look, you're not going to get offered anyone much worse than him. You might as well take it because he's beatable.
Yeah.
You're not going to get offered any out better, so he said, go on then. I remember it.
But I do remember thinking, you've got to knock him out to get the draw in Scotland, mate. It is Tommy Gilmore show, and they were great shows. St Andrews Club, brilliant.
Had a few people, so the
Tommy Gilmore
shows were good, yeah.
Yeah, Gilmore, I've no but respect for, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But would you have an hostile reception when you were there, or were it okay, looked after?
He looked after you. I think it was a bit tight with money, like, but a bit tight with purses,
right,
like.
We'll put that to list because there's quite a few said that.
But yeah, he always spoke to you and that, and you know, which is good, really, to be honest with you. And yeah, so.
Well, what crowd's like?
Very hostile, yeah. St Andrews Club. It was on Burns night as well, so can you imagine that? It was Burns night. So I didn't stay around for none of tatties. Was it tatties? Turnips and tatties. I didn't stay around for any of that. Like I say, I was starting work, but I was boxing chocolates at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Legend. And then, can be your next fight?
Will it be Carl Taylor?
No, we had one before.
Beaky Moyo.
Do you know Beaky Moyo?
I did, yeah. God rest his soul, yeah. I do. He's passed away now, was Beaky. Yeah.
I didn't know he passed away.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He committed suicide.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Was he having a do over his status?
He did, that's right. The Home Office was wanted to send him home.
Status.
And it was you know what, he was a lovely guy.
Never knew that. I'm good.
All right.
I should have known that. I'm quite disappointed I didn't know that.
He was a lovely guy. I used to be sat next to him and he'd be wrapping his hands for his own fight, and I'm saying, "Haven't you got no one to wrap him, mate?" And he went, "No, I'll do it myself." And he was wrapping his hands, and he didn't have anyone in his corner. He used to get the house second, and I used to think, "Poor guy's gone down there by himself, wrapping his hands, and who's doing his bloody corner?" But obviously, he was really experienced as well.
Yeah, he was an experienced
guy. He was a
guy.
lovely guy.
You know what? He never got a win, did he?
On the road, 49 fights or something, or 50 fights.
He had 75
Did he have
fights.
75? Yeah, he had 49, I think, when I boxed in Borough.
Yeah.
But he was my friend on the road. Whenever I saw him,
didn't you drop it?
I did. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you a story about the fight with Beaky Moyo. I think we boxed at the Cafe Royal. It's not open anymore. It's a place in London. It's
Micky Elliott show.
Micky Elliott show, and we got the weights wrong. I came in way underweight and he was way heavier than me. If you look on BoxRec, you'll see a discrepancy with weights. Now, I've heard of boxers getting charged for going overweight, but they tried charging me for being underweight. They tried actually taking 200 or 300 quid out my purse for being underweight.
Never heard of that.
I'm telling you now, that is truth. God's honest truth.
Did they get it off you, Graham?
No, they didn't.
Good
no.
lad.
Good lad.
They didn't.
Did I soften him up with a Kit Kat? Yeah, well, I never knew that, and that's gutted me, that has.
Yeah.
But yeah, he were a proper warrior, that guy. And we answered no out of term there. Like I said, no fighter should be there on their own. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing my seconds as well, because I'll always be at end at phone if they need me.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, somebody picked up as at the house corner, helped him and picked him up, and obviously did his corner. He didn't want in the corner by himself,
Yes.
but I'm just saying.
That's what the house seconds are there for, aren't they?
Yeah.
So then we did have Carl Taylor, mate, didn't we? Another warrior.
Absolute warrior. Another centurion, one of over 140 fights, I would imagine.
You know what? I don't usually do this, but I did write his record down, you know.
Go on, and he'd been in with Attons, Ricky Hatton, been in with Matthew
I thought I
Hatton.
had to write it down because I've got here 165 fights.
Wow.
16 wins, 142 losses, and a solitary draw. That is some warrior.
Absolutely, mate. And if you look at who he's been in with, he's been in with both Hattons, he's been in with loads of British champions.
His son boxed, didn't he? Was he a journeyman?
I don't know.
His son was journeyman, or he turned pro.
Carl Taylor.
He might have boxed on the same bill.
I boxed him at Leeds ground. Dinner show. I had to sell tickets for that fight, and that's when I thought to my son, I ain't selling tickets. It was £50 a ticket, and they had to come in suits. So, and it was something like a Thursday night. So can you imagine asking your mates on a Thursday night, to buy a dinner ticket in a dinner, in a suit? It's not happening.
Now Scarfe would laugh me out of the room if I asked him for that, wouldn't they, mate?
But he was tough as all bouts, was Carl Taylor. Really tough.
Yeah, somebody would love to have on here.
Yeah, I think you should as well. He's great.
Yeah, I think 4 great fights there, mate. And then we went into your first loss.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, don't I ask you, born in Australia, weren't you Australian and come over here? To Whitehaven?
No, it was a Manchester area, trained by Mike Pemington or something like that. What's he called? Really good trainer. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
He had a couple of Commonwealth champions and what have you.
I think
and
that
British
was
champions. That
might
was
have been a Jamie Moore show or something like that.
To be honest with you, I think that was my real first test. Because like I say, I was 4 fights undefeated there. We were both undefeated.
I'm sure you're Australian born him.
And
for some reason.
He's gone. He went to live over there. He's come back now.
Then. That's it. That's where I've got it from. The other Australian connection, son there.
Yeah.
Because like I said, and I thought I'd seen him on Sky a few times.
Yeah.
So that makes sense now what Mick's saying.
Yeah.
What do you reckon to him?
Our styles didn't clash. I think he's a southpaw and he was a lot taller than me. And we both was both undefeated, so we was both not wanting to take a backward step. And we was wrestling most of that fight. I think it was over 4-3s. It was probably my first 4-3 fight. I'd been doing 2s up to then. You always start off on 6-2s, I think. So anyway, so it was a 4-3 fight. And it was a lot of wrestling. I personally think it should have been a draw.
Yeah.
But he was the home fighter. He'd sold the tickets. So obviously...
so that was your first experience, really, Graham, wasn't it?
That was the...
That was a nice payday, that one.
It was actually, because it was a Sky show, and one of my heroes was top at Bill, and it was great to box. It was Murray. What was it from Manchester?
John Murray.
John Murray was. He was one of my heroes. I loved. I just remember him coming out to nowhere to hide, all that. It was just fantastic.
He was tough for Murray and all.
Yeah, brilliant.
Did you do a training course with him?
No, I'm not sure.
From one bit.
Then can be fighting Johnny Rocco.
I do, yeah. Well, I've got a story for every fight. He had a famous dad, he was a famous wrestler.
Oh, right, I didn't know that.
Yeah. From the 70s and 80s, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, his great lad was Johnny. I talked to him quite a lot on Facebook, yeah. So I was due to box him, and it got cancelled.
We was on the way, weren't we?
We was on the way to York or Bethnal Green. Well, I was on the way. I was going down A64 to Leeds to my manager. And he rung me up and says, I'm afraid fight's called off. And I says, what are you talking about? And I'd trained 2 or 3 weeks for it. And I'd been given a bit of notice for this, because it was a 6-rounder. Right. I was boxing 6-3s at York Hall. And I just said to Mickey, you're joking. This happens in the amateurs. What's going on? He says, kid's not feeling too well. He hadn't passed his medical or something this morning. He's just not feeling too well. But he says, I'll give you some compensation. So I'm thinking, right, that's all right. So he gave me 500 quid compensation, which wasn't too bad. But then I end up boxing Johnny Rocco about 4 weeks later, and he took the 500 quid what he'd give me out of my purse.
It never ends well, does it? It never ends well, does it? You're a sneaky little git.
But yeah, it was a good fight. Apparently, it was a really, really good fight. And I remember the referee, Jeff Hines, I think he was called, and he applauded us both for such a clean contest. It was a really, really good.
You were always in some good scraps.
We tried finding out if you could get them. It was recorded on Sky.
It was recorded.
But they never showed it. So there must be some.
A lot of fighters say, even though they can't find the certain fights that they want to find, they're not available. So it's strange that you're not the first people who said that. So anyway, we had Johnny Rocco, and then went in with, well, you weren't that good, what, Frankie Gavin?
Believe it or not, I was told off people, don't worry, you can't punch, you'll be all right. By God, could he punch? He actually knocked me down, I think, was it second round with a body shot? Or it was like running into a gate post. Many, many, many years later, after I'd finished boxing, I went for a scan round about there for some medical checkups, and they actually found a lesion on my liver. I was thinking, oh, wow, what's this? Christ, what's this? Anyway, a bit more investigation, and they said to me, have you ever been in a car crash? I went, no, I've never been in a car crash in my life. I said, I'm a professional boxer. So, you've been hit there, haven't you? And I remembered it was Frankie Gavin, so he'd actually scarred my liver. So,
not bad, so he couldn't punch.
He made Sky top 10 knockouts a year.
Did it?
Graham, I rang him up. I said, you're on after a break, Graham, at Christmas knockouts a year special. I said, I'm there. Then he rang me back.
I was on me stag do in Magaluf when I got the phone call to box Frankie Gavin.
Right.
So I only got about 2 weeks, 2.5, maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks notice. So I had to cut that quite short, really. You know, to say, I had a pint in me and I was like, oh, I can't drink now. And I was like, are you real? Are you joking? I said, no. I says, I can't. I was quite professional, mate. Yeah. If you look at all my records, my weight, I was always bang on weight. That I never got charged or penalised for having, being overweight.
Oh, that would have been tough for that, mate, but in Magaluf and then sticking that pint down.
Yeah.
But best you've been in with?
Without a doubt, shadow of a doubt, he could just slip punches. I was hitting mid-air all. Sounds like trying to chase a ghost. It was very hard to hit, very, very hard to hit. And then when he did hit you back, wow, he thumped you. He didn't half thump you. Steve Gray was referee that night, and when I went down for second time, I think in second round or something, in Hughes score, he's a good referee, Steve Gray. Yeah. Probably one of my best.
It was a big occasion, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was all Sky box office and that.
Bit of a waste, should have had a world title, you think, Mick?
Gavin?
Yeah.
Certainly had the talent, didn't he? But if you don't have dedication, then
he was
it's just as important.
Frankie Gavin was tipped out the three because there was three of them. There was Billy Joe Saunders and James DeGill. There was Eddie the trio or something like that, and he was tipped out the three of them to go the furthest.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be a world title. I had a world title in him, but like you said, I think his lifestyle stopped that, didn't it? But sometimes things don't work out like that. But must have been good to get in with him, mate. It was a good atmosphere as well.
It was fantastic. I remember coming out towards the ring and fireworks going off. I've never had that before in all my career, amateur or professional.
Well, it was MEN.
Yeah, MEN Arena. Amir Khan was fighting Kotelnik.
For the first world title.
And to see that fight live, really close up, that Kotelnik, he was a great boxer. He was fantastic. And what a fight that was. That was a great fight.
I watched that on screen.
He was brilliant. Up in a big fight. Stands one of the biggest I've ever seen at boxing.
You?
I went in there. I was with my 12-year-old son.
Wow.
But Matthew Hall fans attacked another group. Mm. But that in the end comes under British Transport Police.
Right.
So they all ran in and they got attacked. It was mad for ages there.
Crazy. Were you there at ringside for that?
Yes, I was, yeah.
You'll love it.
I was, yeah. I got changed and come back, yeah.
What, when the fighting were happening in the crowd?
When the fight, I do remember it, yeah, the Amir Khan fights, yeah.
Were you lad all right at the time? He shook him up, didn't he?
He was quite intrigued. I was shook up.
was quite intrigued at 12.
You-
I can imagine
it was
how
just
George would be
what-
like that. I'd be picking a chair up, our George.
I had a bit of support for that fight. I think I sold about 50, 60 tickets, which wasn't so bad.
Oh, fair play.
To come from, to come to see me box
We're
Frankie
all off to
Gavin.
watch
Like.
cards. No one dare tell you.
It's hard, isn't it? At least I've told you how it is, mate. Good lad. I like
It helps to be on a big bill, though, doesn't it? You even had a feel for Atten show.
So we'll go from that big show
Yeah.
back to another warrior, Daniel Thorpe.
Yeah, so like I said, to build my confidence back up, we decided to have a home show. So again, it was left I was still with Mick Marsden at this time. I wasn't with Glenn Banks. I was with Mick Marsden, and he picked me Danny Thorpe. And I looked at his record and I thought, I knew he could bang. So I decided to box him, but I think I caught him in round about second round. I'll have to ask him with a big right hand. And I saw his legs wobble, and I've gone in to try and finish it, and he's caught me. And he's shook me to me bouts. So we've both been shooken to our bouts in the same round. But I've got a lot of respect for Danny Thorpe. After that, after he tagged me one, after he clocked me one, I was like, whoa, I'm not going back in for another one like that. It's not on my home show. So I just stayed on outside and boxed him and took the points win. But Danny Thorpe can turn it on any time he wants. Like I say, he had a good run as well when he started off.
You were great to get him in, on show. One I wanted from the start. It took till series 3 to get him, but yeah, I used to enjoy watching Danny. And like I said, he boxed Carn, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. I watched it on TV. Yeah.
He said he loved that. He says, same as you, he says, he never seen an atmosphere like it.
But after the win, it gave me a bit of a confidence. So who did they throw me in with next?
Was it Gary MacArthur?
Oh,
in
right.
Belfast?
Wow. Right. There's another story for you then. Right then. So my manager, I'm still with Mick Marsden at this stage. He says, he rung me up and he says, I've got you on a show. It's a matchroom show. It's in Dublin, Ireland. He said,
Belfast.
Belfast. It's a good show to be on. I've got the choice of 3 opponents here. He mentioned Gavin Rees. I said, you can forget that one. Gavin Rees. There was 2 other. There was maybe Ryan Brawley.
I think I know that name.
It wasn't prize fighter.
It wasn't prize fighter.
Right.
I think they offered
Scottish
me him.
Southpaw tall.
And then they offered me someone else to taste it, but I ended up boxing Gary MacArthur in end, and I didn't know anything about him. It was a wrong opponent for me. Have you seen the size of Gary MacArthur? He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot odd, and he's a southpaw. Well, I'm only a small guy. I'm about what 5'7", 5'8". He's 6 foot odd, southpaw, and he's through a hook, and his arms are that long. It's gone right round back of my head. It's gone right round back of my head. This shot,
Like Mr. Tickle.
And as he's pulled his hand back in, he's forearmed me on the back of my head. So I've been forearmed on the back of the head. So can you imagine? He's thrown this hook. It's gone right round my head, and he's forearmed me on the back of my head. So I've gone down. I knew exactly where I was, but I knew exactly what had gone on, what round it was, where I was, but I was dizzy. And I was saying to the referee, illegal shot, and it was an illegal shot because it hit me at the back of the head. An illegal shot with his forearm, and I'm pointing like that, and he just counted me out. I was on my knees, I stood up, and he just waved it off.
But I bet you what days, though. I mean, bump or ear or ear, you're going to be...
Well, it was an illegal shot.
Yeah.
It was the back of my head with his forearm. So his arms were that long. I don't think he intentionally did it. It's just he's been that long, and he's that tall, 6 foot odd.
So that was another story there then, mate.
That was over 6'3", that, but I got paid well for that.
I thought you would have done
I did. It was a matchroom show. I only did was it 2 rounds?
2 rounds, yeah.
This 2, I've been stopped a few. I think I've only ever been stopped in second round about 3 times. I think. So number 2 seems to be unlucky for me.
Unlucky number, mate. Unlucky number.
Stay away from number 2.
So we went to old sunny Belfast, mate, and then we've talked about this guy over the last couple of months, haven't we? And he's just had a big world title fight, which has been really unlucky. And we both said the same, that we were never expecting to get to that level.
Absolutely.
And you went to Donny Dome, didn't you? And you went in with Maxi Hughes.
That's right. I was on a Steffi Bull show, and like I say, I'd just been talking to Christian.
No, on Frank Maloney, that.
Was it?
Sure it was.
Was it Frank?
Anyway, McDonald topped it.
I'd just been talking to Christian late in the changing room, and I asked him about Maxi Hughes, and he said, "You won't have anything to worry about. He can't punch. Just move around. Just keep moving around, Greg. Do what you do." And when I went in there, I remember him being fast, been accurate, but nothing that I haven't seen before. Nothing at all. And I think I did four rounds with him. Never got hurt out, but. And if you'd have said to me that he was going to be boxing in the calibre that he is today with the guys that he does fight Cambosa and all that, I'd have said no chance. So what a transformation. Him and his team. He must have really grafted hard in between lockdown, because I think we've been a big giant stage of lockdown going on. He must have really, really grafted, because he in have some fighting now, and he's consistent with his wins. If you have a look at his record.
He's a proper example of someone who his hard work and dedication pays off.
He's had the right run, hasn't he?
He's been amazing, and I hadn't seen the Cambosa fight.
I have.
I've heard it was I just don't want to watch it if it's what I'm hearing.
It was a bad decision, but it wasn't. I wasn't that surprised when they give him it. Mm-hmm. I thought he took his foot off in the last 3 or 4 rounds when he shouldn't have done. If it was unfair, he probably won by about 2 rounds.
Yeah, but I heard a lot of bad press about it, and I thought, well, I don't want to watch it. I don't want an opinion on that, to be quite honest.
Life's changing, isn't it?
But I'll definitely take your opinion, mate, when anybody makes, to be quite honest on that. So, yeah, well done to Maxi. Our work does pay off, doesn't it, mate? It's like you said, Frankie Gavin maybe didn't put that bit of extra hard work in if he did.
Well, he said in build-up to Cambosa, there was a time he was ready to walk away from it.
Yeah.
And he's been working all along until last year or two.
An absolute, I never expected it either, Graham. We've spoke about it, so well done for proving us wrong, Maxi.
Yeah, very nice guy as well. In and out of the ring, very nice guy. He's an example of an example. He's a great guy.
Have you met him before, Mick?
No, I don't think so, anyway.
So we'll leave Maxi, we'll go back to two. We've got a couple of draws in a row here, Graham. We're on a double draw.
Twice
here.
in a week.
Yeah, twice. Yes.
Saturday night.
Yeah. 2 journeymen, weren't they?
That's right, mate. Yeah,
can you remember him?
Yeah, one was Thompson.
Jason Thompson.
I thought I should have won it.
And Mark McRae.
So Jason Thompson. I think that was on a Sky show. That was at Barnsley.
Carly Wanson versus Gary Sykes.
I like Carly Wanson.
Was that Wakefield Leisure Centre? Was it Barnes? Was it
Barnes?
Right.
We were last on.
So, yeah, we really went toe-to-toe, me and him, because, again, I think it was after a win for him. I think he'd been pulled in.
It was from Huddersfield.
He'd been pulled in by board for quite a few losses, so they wanted a win for him. So they've thought, here, let's have a look down record. Here, we've got all Fearny here. We'll bang Fearny in with him and get him a win. By God, did he get a fight. We both went toe-to-toe, honestly. We did. We knocked 6 bells out of each other. We really, really went for it. Got a draw. I thought I slightly should have won it, but that's just my opinion. But
do you remember who was on undercard?
Tyrone Nurse, was he? I can't remember.
Yeah, George Groves, Carl Frampton, you. This was because I was ringside with H, a friend of Tyrone Nurse's dad. And that's who was all sat with Adam Bove, George Groves, Frampton. This is all through the Sports Centre.
Wow.
Johansson dropped him as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Just say about George Groves, that's the first time I'd ever seen him up close. And I'll tell you something now, he could bang. Well, we know he can, but to hear his punches live was a thud. Boof. If he was hitting you were going out. It was lights out.
Oh, one of my big moments when he dropped for Hotch. I hope he was going to stay down, but he didn't.
That was a great night, that.
So we had 2. So that were obviously them 2. Then we went away with someone I'd like to mention here, because we know Carl Samson quite well. And you went in with his brother, didn't you, Jamie?
That's right, I did, yeah. Again, I thought it was a really nice, sharp, crisp boxer. But now I hadn't seen before, to be honest with you. Nothing I hadn't seen.
Did you know he just come out of retirement?
Yes, I did. I was following it, yeah.
Wasn't he down to box Billy Pickles the other week?
Yeah, yes.
I went to that show.
When I saw him making a return, I was thinking to myself, shall I make a return as well? So I thought, if he can get a licence, I'm sure I can get a licence. I'll go on to phone to Les Potts, but nah, I don't think I will. I'm a granddad, you see, these days. So
what a guy, Graham, what a guy.
I'm gonna stay on my granddad's seat.
So what do you reckon to Samson then? Just sharp, nothing you hadn't seen before?
No, I hadn't seen before. Very sharp boxer. I can tell he must have come from a well-schooled amateur background. He were crisp, nice and crisp shots. And a nice guy as well. Nice guy.
A massive boxing family. Roger Samson, the dad, who were an ex-pro, good boxer. Carl, who wants to do it all on the road. And Jamie, they said, were the best They say he's the best of the three. Cash just brought him back. He did lose on his debut, but Cash is saying just taken him and Samo Mason under his wing. He's lost.
Didn't he box the other night, Samo Mason? Did he box recently?
Yes, he
Samo
lost.
Mason, he got beat,
I think
didn't
he boxed a week, maybe 2 weeks after he should have fought Billy Pickles.
Could he punch that Samo Mason?
Samo Mason, I mean.
Samo Mason has been knocked out twice in the last
Has he?
2 or 3 months, hasn't he? On big shows against big talents.
Right. I'm sure I was offered him at one stage, Samo Mason. I'm sure I was.
I think he's been, obviously, I think Cash has put him in with these 2 talents, but I just don't think the money could have been turned down, to be quite honest. But I hope Jamie does come back, because I think he could. But he had that loss, and we hadn't heard notes since, so maybe he decided.
How old will he be then, Mark? Now what?
Jamie?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to ask you that same question.
Well, I'm 48, but I would imagine he would have been a lot younger than me. I was always boxing kids.
I would say I think he's Carl's older brother.
Yeah, he's older than Carl.
Yeah. So I'm going to guess about, shall we say about 30, 32?
Oh, wow. Right.
I don't know. Look, turn around. I'm only fucking 25, you cheeky. You know what I mean? But it's not one I've really seen, Jamie, to be honest with you. But yeah, they said he were the best of the Samsons, and Roger's doing quite well with his gym down at Manor.
Good.
And he's got a few there. And it's good to see him. They'll probably have a couple of fighters on at the Magnum, and we're good to see Harry Matthews, actually. Yeah. Are you coming to that, mate?
I might do, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What
we'll
day
see.
is it?
21st of October.
Saturday, innit?
Yeah, touch wood. Harry will get through okay, and we'll all be there celebrating together, hopefully. And then you went with another Sheffield fighter who was also close to the Samsons, and they always said he could bang. And it says LKO here, lost TKO. Scott Jenkins, hot shot.
Oh, yes, that's right. So that was on the Ricky Hatton show. I was with Glenn Banks at this stage, so I'd swapped managers now, and Glenn Banks is, I've got to say, is the best manager I've ever had is Glenn Banks. He'll argue the toss of any coin for you, weight or anything. He's fantastic. I recommend him. So any up-and-coming boxers out there, Glenn Banks will look after you. 100% loyal.
I can agree with that as well.
Yeah, total family man. Always thinking of you as the boxer. I boxed in Scott Jenkins. I was what you classed as a floater, so I was gloved up round about 5:30, 6 o'clock. And there was a big show. There was Randall Munro on. There was loads of them on that night, and loads of them actually finished that night and retired. They'd either been beat, because I remember looking at all down records, results afterwards. So about 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'm getting warmed up, shadow boxing. I'm going pads, and then no, you're not on at this moment, and it went on all the way through the night. I ended up boxing, gone 12 o'clock, and as soon as I got into the ring. Referee, I think he was called Lyson, I think he said to me, "Good morning, Graham." And I thought, shit, have I been knocked out already? What's he talking about? What's he talking about? Good morning. And obviously it'd gone into it next day. So I'm boxing Scott Jenkins, and I'll tell you something now, being gloved up at 5:30 and getting into the ring at 12, just gone midnight, I didn't want to be there, I didn't want to box. So I comes out for the first round, and he's a strong lad, was Scott Jenkins. I think he'd stopped quite a few, I think he had, or he was undefeated anyway. So, he catches me with a body shot in second round again. I think it's second round. I think it was. And I looked at Glenn Banks. It was an heavy shot to my body. I looked at Glenn Banks, and Glenn Banks just went. It's gone 12 o'clock. Just went, and I just stayed down on my knee. Count me out on my knee.
Nobody could.
But fantastic payday.
Yeah.
I was meant to fight him over 6 threes, but because it had gone past 12 o'clock, it got knocked down to 4 threes. So I was still getting paid the same as what I would for 6 threes. So it was all good. I went home safe. You know, a bit of a bruised rib, but I went home safe.
And to be fair, mate, at that time, nobody can...
I didn't want to box at 12.
No,
just
it
gone
must
12 o'clock. No, not when I've been gloved up from 5 o'clock. And as a floater, you can be on at any time. So it wasn't like I'd be able to take my gloves off and, I was burning energy from 5:30 till 12 o'clock. I was burning energy. So by the time I got into the ring, I was almost beat. Anyway, I was nervous.
You must have been exhausted, mate.
I remember thinking, I worked night shifts. I might as well have just worked a bloody night shift, because that's how I felt. I felt exhausted.
He loves the story about Flo, doesn't he, Scarfe?
We've had a few, yeah.
It was a really strange atmosphere that night.
Yeah.
I thought. From about 5th round onwards with that, and there was just... It ended up being like a funeral. You know, like everyone all deflated and
There were so many great boxers that retired that night, like Randall
it's like
Monroe.
sad more than anything.
Yeah, Ricky Hatton had finished that night. There was a few guns, and I announced my retirement that night. But obviously I came back afterwards. But
I could see Graham coming back. We're sponsored by Kit Kats, isn't he?
He's trying back one. That's a different story. And it won't kick.
Has I tried it, mate? Has I tried getting a sponsor from him?
Yeah.
What they said to you, Graham?
I know.
No comment.
when I boxed Frankie Gavin, I went to R&D Centre and they made him a handmade giant York. It was 3 kilo. It was weighed 3 kilo, and I gave him it on the way in, this giant Yorkie.
Wrong boxer to be giving it, sir.
It certainly was.
I wouldn't the Kelby.
Well, I remember Anthony Farnell taking it off him though and saying, "I'll take that. You know, I'll be eating that."
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Yeah. Oh God. So one from Scott Jenkins, you had one of our local lads, one of our successful Barnsley lads, to be quite honest. You went with Robbie Barrett, didn't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah, did he go on to be British champion and all that?
He most certainly did.
Yeah. Do you know what? Again, was he Steffi Bull's?
Yeah, Steffi Bull's guy. Yeah.
Guy. I've boxed quite a few times on Steffi Bull's show, Donny Domes and what have you, and he's always looked after me as Steffi Bull.
You nearly boxed him, didn't you?
Yeah, I nearly boxed Steph. That's how old I am on the circuit. I nearly boxed Steffi Bull. Sorry about that, Steffi. But yeah, I was offered him once at one stage. But yeah, your kid again. There was all sharp kids because I'm coming towards end of me sell by date now. I was boxing all sharp kids. Like I said, they were out. I hadn't seen it. You know, I know they all went on to be British champions and whatever, but they didn't really stand out as in like a Frankie Gavin, if I'm honest with you. Frankie Gavin was totally different kettle of fish altogether, mate. That's when you know there's levels in boxing, when you box people like that.
Yeah, you do see them, mate. But coming towards end of your career, mate, we had a double up, didn't we? Jay Carney, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Twice.
did. Yeah.
This is an unusual. If you were there for this, mate, I've got it on box track. Could be wrong. It says here Garford FC Leeds.
Yeah, that's right. I boxed that at an open show. It was absolutely fantastic.
What it was?
It was an open football show. Yeah, football ground, Garford football ground. I boxed for the MBC. It's called Malta Boxing Commission.
Right.
It's gone down on there, I know. But yeah, so but he ended up getting a pro license. Did that guy?
Yeah.
But I boxed him away. First time I boxed him was in Olympia, Liverpool, on his home show. Yeah. And did I get the draw?
You got the win there.
I got the win there.
You got the win at Liverpool and you drew it.
Yeah, take some doing that, going away to Liverpool and boxing.
It most certainly does.
Beating their home kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was trained by Derry Matthews as well, if I'm right. Yeah.
Right.
Derry Matthews, he was doing a lot of sparring with Derry Matthews.
Good win then, that then, mate.
Yeah, it was a good win.
So they were your last 2 fights, weren't you then, mate?
Yeah, so I went into the pro ranks with a win, and I've come out with a win, so what more can I say?
Yeah.
I never knew I always knew I was never going to become a world beater, should I say. I never told anyone ever that. It was my schoolboy ambition to become a professional. So I fulfilled the schoolboy ambition. I turned pro quite late at 33 because I couldn't get any more amateur fights around my area. I'd won a title, a national title. And I was winning the Yorkshire number sides quite a few times, and it was getting hard to get me matched.
Wasn't there a certain arch enemy though who just keep beating you at times?
Yeah.
Come on, let's mention him.
Nigel Wright.
Yes.
Soon as I got to the North East counties, I couldn't get past him. He was an England rep. He'd boxed at the Commonwealth Games along with my stablemate Levi Patterson.
Yeah.
So yeah, have you heard of Levi Patterson?
I've heard of Levi Patterson, but I used to enjoy watching Nigel Wright. What do you reckon to him, mate?
I was good, only very sharp.
Yeah.
Very sharp.
Yeah,
he was only young one, he was only about 18 then.
What did you reckon to him as a professional when he went on to be a pro?
He had some good nights. He ran that Elusigan course, didn't he, for the title?
Yeah. He was a good fighter.
A bit too amateur for pros.
I used to enjoy watching him, I really did. And like I said, we'll put a black cross next to his name for if he's upset the man, he's not letting they get through. He gets a black cross at Journeyman Cave. But no, you're a good fighter.
He was brilliant. I'd like to mention my amateur club, which was Hunslet Boxing Club. There was a kid in there called Darren Rhodes, and he trained me as a professional for my first 5 or 6 fights. And the only reason I ended up going to York in the end is because it cut down my training, it cut down my travelling time. That's all. But Darren Rhodes, I'd like to give a big mention to. Levi Patterson, Danny James, they all helped me as a good. It was a good club, was Hunslet Hampshire Boxing Club.
Great stuff, mate.
And Glenn Banks as well, number one manager for me, without a doubt.
Yeah,
great bloke, very, very loyal.
Yeah, he just messaged me just before we got on this show, and he said, "Oh, I can't think of out now to ask him." He put me on the spot, Mark. So that's for another day, Graham, isn't it? But I'd just like to say it's a pleasure to have you both on. Honour to have you as well, mate. It really is. And it's finally great to get you here, Graham.
Yeah.
It's been a while coming, but we've had some good talks, we've had a good laugh, haven't we, along the way? Yeah. And I'd like to thank you both for coming, and cheers for that, mate. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Are you going to sign his glove?
Yes, without a doubt, Paul.
Yeah. Pen. Have we got a pen?
I've got a pen, mate. Right, cheers for coming on.
Thank you, lads.
Thank you. Absolute pleasure.
The Journeyman Cave is produced by James Proud. Music by Ryan Carrier. Special thanks to Rhythm Inc. Studios for hosting. All views expressed are of the guests only. The Journeyman Cave and host bear no responsibility for any opinions given. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter @The Journeyman Cave.